Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. It's me, Miranda, and today I'm going to talk about all the books that I read in the month of April. Somehow I managed to read 9 books. I won't be talking about every single one of them today, but I will definitely show them all on the screen for you guys. One more thing I wanted to talk about before we get started. I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who watched, liked, and commented on my BookTube newbie tag video. I was honestly really surprised at how nice and friendly everyone in the BookTube community was, and I really appreciate all the support and kind words. With all that being said, let's move on to the books. The first book that I read in April is actually a manga, the life-changing manga of Tidying Up, a magical story by Marie Kondo. What a long title for such a short experience. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it life-changing, but I did really enjoy this manga. The art is really cute, and I like how it tells the story of a fictional woman cleaning up her messy apartment with Marie's help. I'd heard of Marie Kondo before and her signature phrase of keep only what sparks joy. It's really nice, and the manga elaborated on this idea, emphasizing that tidying up is more about choosing the things that you want to keep and then thanking the items that you're discarding. Next, and one of the books that I'm doing art for today, is 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I didn't realize this until recently, but apparently she also wrote Spin the Dawn, another YA fantasy series that I've heard a lot of positive things about. As for this book though, I do think it's a solid YA, but I would have liked to see more of the magic system. Spoiler alert, and I will give you guys a moment to skip in case you're interested in reading this one. Alright, last chance. The thing that I wanted to say is that this book loses a lot of its charm because the main character spends the majority of this book with a curse that hides her face under a bowl, and she's unable to speak or use any of her magic. That's not to say it was bad by any means. Shiori does find other ways to communicate effectively, but I don't know. I realize I'm saying a lot of negative things about this book, but I definitely really enjoyed it, and I plan to read the second book when it comes out in August. Oh, and the best character is definitely the paper crane. What a sassy little bird. Back in about July or so of 2021, I read Lucy Foley's The Guest List, and honestly, I was pretty unimpressed. Now I've read The Paris Apartment by her, and I think it was a huge improvement. She's not the best at writing characters in my opinion, most of them are kind of jerks or generally just unlikable, but her mysteries? That's some good stuff. I know this one has gotten some criticism because not a lot actually happens, but I honestly wasn't all that bothered by it. You follow the main character Jess, who just arrived in Paris to stay with her older half-brother, Ben. However, once she arrives at his apartment, he is nowhere to be found. The story includes perspectives from other characters that she meets in the apartment complex, which I think really helps to keep things fresh and interesting as the story unfolds. So I've become a fairly big Ruth Ware fan within the past year, and I finally decided to read In a Dark, Dark Wood. I'm sad to say, I was pretty disappointed by this one. Since the main character, Nora, is a crime writer, I had to suspend my disbelief quite a bit. She made some really stupid and reckless decisions. The first to even go to this Hindo? I don't know what that is. I've never been to one. I guess that it's supposed to be some sort of like bachelorette party for women. Maybe it's a UK thing. British people, please let me know. I don't know. Anyway, she decided to go to that for a friend that she hadn't even seen or talked to in like over 10 years. I'm not sure that I'd really want to go to one myself unless it was like a close friend, but you know, whatever. Anyway, I'm certainly not the brightest bulb, but I pretty much had this book figured out by the end. Definitely a disappointing read for me. Moving along to another YA, I finished The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. While this book was fun, I honestly wasn't that blown away by it or anything. I think maybe my expectations were just too high. It often felt repetitive, reminding the reader, I have a secret, and that Avery, the main character, is the glass ballerina, the knife. Surprisingly though, I did enjoy the cliffhanger ending. I thought the author did a great job of bringing things together in the end, yet leaving us with a new mystery. I heard the second book isn't quite as good and feels like filler, but I plan on reading it nonetheless. Last but not least, I finished The Flames of Hope by T. Sutherland. I got into the Wings of Fire middle grade fantasy series in early 2020, devoured every single release, and have been diligently keeping up with the series ever since. It definitely does feel like a middle grade, but it's fun, creative, and for a series about dragons, it's surprisingly inclusive. I also like how this book tackles heavier subjects by featuring a character that seems to have these sort of depressive episodes, or fog days as she calls them. T. Sutherland is an excellent writer, so if you're interested in middle grade, fantasy, and or dragons, I would highly recommend the Wings of Fire series. That is all for today's wrap-up. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the art that I did for today's video as well. I'm still not quite sure how I feel about the first one that I did for 6 Crimson Cranes, but I do quite like the one that I did for In a Dark, Dark Wood. It was really fun. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will be back with more book content in the future. Bye for now!